In a nutshell, what is a suppository? It is a form of medication that goes up your butt. Before we go any further into this episode, I do need to tell you I am not a trained healthcare medical professional. Everything that I put on here is based on my own research, personal experience, firsthand knowledge. My videos are for entertainment purpose, but hopefully they will inspire you to do your own research and to discuss any concerns that you might have with your healthcare professional. Well, hello there. Welcome back. My name is Julie, but you can call me Mama. Come to the table. Let's talk about suppositories. Right here, I have a prescription bottle of suppositories. This is what they look like. Mine are, what are they? Anacort, generic for Anusol. And as you can see right here, it says for rectal use only, because obviously no one wants to be swallowing something like this. And that is why we have suppositories. One of the reasons. There are a lot of situations where you are not able to swallow something. There's another way to take care of it. Yes, that's right. Right up your butthole goes the suppository. It is not difficult to do, but it is awkward. I can guarantee you it's awkward. So I'm going to tell you how to do it all by yourself in the comfort of your bathroom and what to watch out for. Here we go. My particular suppositories are to fight hemorrhoids, inflammation, things like that in the rectal area. I have been using these off and on for 16 years. Almost 16 years, since I first gave birth. So I am very familiar with them, but also grateful that I don't have to use them all the time. So I'm gonna tell you my number one tips right away and things to watch out for. Get ready, relax, okay? Your sphincter, it's tight. It is so tight. You could stick a piece of coal up in there and before you know it, you've got a diamond. Be ready. Relax. Now, if you're someone that's used to having things put up that back end, no shame, no judgment, then it's gonna be a lot easier. All you're gonna wanna do is just stick that up there. You're gonna feel fine, but for other folks, it's a process. So you wanna loosen up, you wanna relax. You wanna spread those butt cheeks apart. You're gonna open this up with clean hands. I would recommend wearing some like latex gloves or what are those other ones called? Anyway, just some gloves. Guaranteed, you're gonna end up with your fingers at least a teeny bit in that hole, okay? And that's nasty. Of course, you can wash your hands, but wearing gloves, even better. So you are going to open it, and generally, this is kind of packaging that they come in. So you pull those two tabs apart, and you've got your little bullet. Look at that. It is shaped so perfectly. And actually on this end, it's a little bit indented, perfect for your finger to fit there. So you're going to have relaxed. You're gonna bend over a little bit or squat, whichever way works best for you. If you do have to have someone help you, guys, there's no shame in that. If it's your partner, your parent, your caretaker, it's worth it in order to have the relief that your suppository will provide for whatever purpose you are using it. So, time to let go of that. Time to just say, you know what? The benefits are worth the embarrassment. And it's that way with so many things medically. And my husband and I, the things we have been through. The things we have been through. And yet we are still hot and loving each other, even though we've seen each other in the most disgusting, horrible positions and situations. Hey, we are on the grown-up, uncensored, unfiltered channel where you get to come to Mama. You get to come here to the kitchen table to Mama. My arms are wide open, ready and waiting with information, with personal stories and experiences, and definitely a lot of TMI. But it's useful and educational and hopefully entertaining. So you're gonna pull this out with your gloved hands or at least clean hands. Pull this out. Get your fingers around here. It's gonna be so easy, I promise you. This is so soft and it's not lubricated, but because it's like a cream that's in a solid state, it's just gonna go right on up. You can moisten them. Get them a little bit wet. It's gonna make them slippery though. More slippery than oh, there's my beautiful daughter. More slippery than they are. I've never had to add water, but I have seen recommendations in my research to get them moist to make it easier to get them up there. But like I said, I've never needed to do that. Okay, and you do want to push it a little ways up. That's why I recommend the glove, because you don't want it to be too low in the rectum. You want to get it up as far as you can. Reason is, and this is my toppity tip for using a suppository. Wear a liner or a pad, something. If you're a guy, borrow one from a woman. You want something, even if it's just a rolled up clump of toilet paper. You want something in your underclothing when you use one of these, and especially if you don't push it up far enough, because your rectum is hot. It is warm. That's why you can have your temperature taken that way, and it's actually the most accurate place in your body to take your temperature. Those things that they scan across your forehead, not nearly as accurate as your butthole. That's science, okay? It's just science. This is gonna melt. It's gonna melt. And what does it wanna do? Your anus, your rectum, they are an exit. That's an exit. And everything wants to come on out. The suppository included. So it is going to do its job. It's gonna coat. The medicine is gonna be absorbed into your body. But guaranteed, some of it, especially in this exact form, it's gonna start leaking down. It'll still do the job. You don't need to worry about that, especially if you get it up there pretty high. It's gonna do the job, but there will be leakage. Otherwise, you're gonna ruin your underwear. I mean, not ruin, you're gonna wash them, but if you're out and about and in public and doing things, and that leakage is happening, I can tell you from personal experience, it's nasty. It's uncomfortable. And potentially very embarrassing. If possible, I do recommend getting into a prone posture, laying on the ground, maybe on your side would probably be best. In fact, I think that's what it says in some of the research, is to be on your side or on your stomach, either way. But you don't need to stay like that for like hours and hours and end up with the like most amazing Mr. Universe butt cheeks, okay? You just need to keep it in there, I would say like 5 minutes, maybe 10, keeping that, keeping those squoes together so that it can start doing its job. All right. The tricky thing there is you're doing this in the bathroom. So we're going to kind of circle back just a little bit to the enema video that we did the other day. You're in the bathroom, you're needing to lie down in a position or kneel down in a position, lay out a towel, lay out a padded rug. Don't come out of the bathroom and try to get comfy on the couch. Stuff's going to leak everywhere. If you live alone, I guess you could do that and get comfy. But for me, I just recommend being still for those, 5 or 10 minutes, and then putting in some kind of pad, some kind of protection for your underclothes, and then get on your way and let it do its job. So what have we learned? These go in your butthole. You ought to wear gloves. They're really easy to get up in there, so push them up as far as you can, and please have some kind of liner underneath. All right, those are the basics, but there are several other things that we absolutely have to talk about when it comes to using suppositories. Now, I didn't even know what a suppository was until after I had my first baby. Yeah, and I was 26 and had no idea what they were. But once I saw them and they were prescribed to me, I was like, oh, I've seen these in my mom's top dresser drawer. But I was too embarrassed to ask what they were. We would sneak in there looking for candy. You're getting the truth on here. This is confession time. We would sneak into her drawer looking for candy. She would have like her time of the month treats in her top drawer with, her undies and whatnot. We would sneak in there to try to steal them. What devils, demons we were to steal a woman's time of the month treats. I deserve any and all of the hell that I have lived through for that sin alone. Sorry, Mama. So sorry. I have a safe in my house. It has like a keypad. No one's taken my time of the month treats. Now, I had seen those in there. I didn't know what they were. That's a huge part of why I'm doing this video series. For the people like me who just didn't know. I had no idea. Even after having taken them myself for 16 years, I had no idea till preparing for this video what all they could do and what all they could cause and what all they were used for. So I'm going to read off some of these. Let's go straight to the scary end of the spectrum. These are the potential dangers Potential dangers of suppositories: allergies, anxiety, constipation, fever, hemorrhoids, which is interesting because that's what I use mine for, hemorrhoids. But anyway, hemorrhoids, motion sickness, nausea, pain and itching, seizures, mental health problems such as schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Now, please understand, these are incredibly rare, super duper rare, but you do need to know about them. It's important. Whenever you're going to put something into your body, you need to know, what is it? What can it do? What problems can it cause? You need to know what's coming in with that, whatever's coming into your body from any hole. You need to know the details about it. I didn't for a long time. I'm embarrassed to say, but I know now and I'm sharing it with you. Now, one other thing that we absolutely need to include as we're here at this scary end of the information spectrum, you can get addicted to suppositories. And you should not be using them all the time, constantly, every time that you need a poo, you need to get things moving, whatever. Don't overuse them. But you want to know what's in those. You want to know the potential for damage, for addiction, any of those kinds of things, okay? Only use them as directed. It will say on your bottle how to use them, when to use them. And then, of course, you can do more research and talk to your healthcare professional. Please use them as directed. And don't overuse them. If you get into a situation where you are overusing them and needing them more than what is prescribed, talk to your healthcare professional and get that sorted out. Now, what are the many, many reasons to use a suppository? Now, here is something interesting when we're looking at the uses. It's just like I was talking about how these are for hemorrhoids. It's funny that the dangers that can come from them are like parallel with the actual uses for them. It's funny, but hey, any medication can be used for good or ill, all right? And it's the same with rectal distributions of your medication. So they help with obviously hemorrhoids and the inflamed tissue, lesions, things like that in your rectum, your anus, and can provide a local or systemic effect. Sorry, I want to get the info and get it properly. So I've got the laptop right here. Please bear with me. They can help to promote bowel movements, and many times that's what I've used them for. I have two different types. I need to look up the name of the other one, but the purpose of the one is to ease constipation, to help get things moving and flowing and to be softer, easier exit. And then the other one helps with the inflammation, the hemorrhoids, stuff like that. So depending on what is going on at the time, that's, going to determine which one you're going to use. All right. Other reasons that doctors use suppositories, they treat asthma. I didn't know that. And I have asthma, pretty severe asthma. I had no idea that a suppository could treat asthma. But obviously with the right kind of medication in it, it's almost the same as taking it orally. You're just bringing it in through a different orifice and you're absorbing medication. So there you go. Nausea, anxiety, and bacterial infections. Isn't that interesting? The nausea and anxiety were listed as possible rare problems. But the suppositories are also used to treat those particular conditions. That's weird, but actually not terribly surprising. Now, what are the situations where someone would want to take a suppository? Well, definitely anything involving your rectum, like the hemorrhoids, the lesions, fissures, things like that. And also to loosen, the bowel movement, get that thing going, because it's going to have that local effect right there. Whereas if you're taking like a stool softener orally or other kinds of constipation medication or things like that, it's going to have to go through your digestive system to, start dispersing that medication, and is going to take a lot longer to have the desired effect. Whereas if you are just sticking this right up your butthole, it is in the perfect area. It's right there. It's right in the middle of the action. That's where it's happening. And it's going to be more effective a lot more quickly, in my experience and in the research that I've been looking into. But it is not only because, the action is right there in the rectum. There are other reasons that you would want to use a suppository. If for any reason you are not able to take something orally. One of my kids has a really hard time taking pills. Really hard time. Okay, so if they ever needed that kind of medication, we could get it in that form. Would that be embarrassing and uncomfortable and awkward? Yes, absolutely. But I have a relationship with my kids where we are so open and free about that kind of stuff that it's not a big deal. But that's not the way for everybody. But again, you can do it on your own. You don't have to have someone helping you unless you are, disabled such that you do require that care. But on your own, no one's going to look at you weird when you go to the pharmacy and pick these up. They don't care. All right. So just pick them up, use them on your own. You don't need to even have anyone knowing that you're sticking something up there. Okay. Any people that just cannot swallow medication. There you go. If you are vomiting and cannot keep medication down, you've got the flu or some other condition, and so medication's just not staying down. There you go. If you are having seizures, and so physically you can't hold still and you don't have control of your mind, your capacity, your movement, hey, medication, it's going to go right up that hole. You just have to have someone that's, holding you down. And when you're in the middle of the seizure, you're probably not going to know what's going on anyway, so no worries there. It's just going to happen. It's going to help. One other reason, and this is something I have actually dealt with in the past, is having a blockage anywhere in your digestive system. You can have impacted stool, you might have lesions, you might have tumors, God forbid, or something. And so you end up maybe ischemic bowel. There's a million different possibilities. So many potential ways to be miserable. That is another situation where you're going to want to use a suppository because, like I said, when you swallow something, when you take medication orally, there's a huge blockage, some kind of blockage in there. Obviously, it stops. You're hitting a brick wall and that stuff's going to stay right there. And it's not going to help you or not help you as effectively. So when there's that kind of situation, right up the hole, there you go. So many medications can be taken that way. It is not just, for stool softening or, to soothe the hemorrhoids. So many medications can be delivered that way. You can get your pain medication, allergies, all kinds of medications can be done in the form of a suppository. That is so handy, so helpful. And we're just kind of, dispelling the myth here that they're just to treat hemorrhoids or soften up your stool. No. So many different, acetaminophen can be done in suppository form. How about that? That is wonderful. I mean, this is a funny thing about people. We get so embarrassed, so self-conscious. We all have butts. We all take a shit now and then, hopefully at least regularly, like, a couple times a day, every day. If not, hey, you might need a suppository. Guys, we were all born naked. We were all born naked. All right, let's just get over that and get over this taboo of talking about your tush. Because so many problems could have been prevented or alleviated. Lives could even be saved if people would just be more open, more willing to talk about these kind of topics. Thank you all so much for coming to the table, sitting down with Mama and talking about suppositories. We have so many other educational, informative, and hopefully entertaining topics of the taboo variety coming very soon. You're wondering what's next? I'm going to tell you right now. You're getting a sneak peek. This was actually a lead up, something of an appetizer. Ooh. To this. To this. We're going to be talking about hemorrhoids. Oh, yes. And I am something of an expert. I mean, like not medically, education-wise, just experience-wise. Boy, do I have experience and knowledge and horror stories to share about hemorrhoids, anal fissures, and a fissurotomy. Yeah, that's where they go up your butt with their little tools. Luckily, you're asleep. Please do come back. I sure hope you have enjoyed, that you have learned, that you have felt comfortable here at the table. Any questions that you have of the taboo variety, of the mortifying, embarrassing, or things that you just don't talk about with your friends or family, bring those questions here to Mama. I will answer them for you. And almost always I'll have a personal story to share, personal experience to speak to whatever that question is that you have, that thing that you're like, what the hell is this? And you don't want to just Google it. You want to feel comforted and understood. That's what I'm here for. All right, please do subscribe, like, and share if you think anyone in your sphere of influence might benefit from learning about suppositories. You're like, no, hell no. I came here to, this is kind of the black bag in the mail or the brown bag covering your liquor. I don't want people to know this is what I'm looking into. So hell no, I'm not sharing your video. That's okay. As long as you like and subscribe and leave a helpful comment. And hey, a great question. That is all that I ask. Have a wonderful day. Take care of your butt and your body. And we'll see you all again very soon here at the table.